Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Today we'll be showcasing a new build for my Regisfall build series. But before we get into that, if you're an Ultima Online player, if you are a Regisfall player, please consider liking the video and subscribing to the shard to help us spread the word for this amazing game, as well as to keep the roleplay torch lit. Because as you know, Regisfall Shard is a roleplay shard. Without further ado, let's get the into showcasing the build itself. That's what we are here for, right? So this is my elf character. His name is Etrian Fifiabi. This is a very special character to me, with a great nostalgic value, because my first character on this shard was an elf monk, which is the build we'll be covering here. The monk subclass and how I like to play it. First of all, let's talk about the class, which is the Kensai. Kensais have two subclasses, the Blade Master and the Monk. Blade Masters, as the name implies, is focused on swords, while monks are focused on fists. There are some characteristics about Kensai which set them apart from other races. Oh, I'm sorry, from other classes. First of all, Kensai cannot wear armor. This is a trademark characteristic of this class. They cannot wear any type of armor. You can see that my character is wearing armor, but this is just visual. None of these pieces are actual armor pieces. You can see that none of them have durability. It's all clothing and jewelry. But Regisfall has a system to change the appearance of certain items with vanity tickets. And that's how I made it look like he's wearing armor. But truth is, none of this is armor. None of this has any mitigation whatsoever. He does have resists though, as you can see up here. These are my resists. But the way Kensai get resists is different from other classes. We will get to that in a moment. So Kensai, because they don't wear armor, usually they have low HP compared to other classes, but they have extremely high dexterity, which makes them hard to hit. But when they do get hit, they they usually take a lot of damage because no armor. So they tend to be fast, fast swinging. They are good at avoiding attacks, even ranged attacks such as arrows and spells. But they are basically glass cannon, especially the monk. The blade master has some other means of protection and defense. Monk is the glass cannon of the two subclasses. And to be honest, this is one of the reasons I love it. I love high risk, high reward gameplay. Okay, so let's take a look at the build itself. You can see here my stats: strength, dexterity, intelligence, HP, stamina, mana, and my damage with fists. No other class, oh, I'm sorry, no other subclass can get as high as this, I believe. Only the monk. You can see that I have very low HP compared to other classes, especially the ones who can wear armor. But Kensai and Monk as well have ways to make each point count. They are more valuable, let's say more efficient, when um, when spent, let's say, with a Kensai, and you will see why. So, as with my previous build videos, I will go into detail about the build itself and my decisions around it, and then we'll do a brief hunt. We are close to Torgard Keep here, and we'll do a brief hunt where I explain my every decision as we progress. Okay. So first of all, let's take a look at my open my feats here, and let's look at first at my Kensai feats. As I said, Kensai wears no armor, so it's important that you have means to prevent damage somehow, mitigate damage somehow, or recover HP quickly. And this one here, Holiness of Self, is a passive ability for Kensai, which dramatically increases regeneration rates. So when I'm hunting, you will see that my HP, stamina, and mana recover super fast, like faster than any other class for sure. And you can improve this with regeneration enchantments in items, which we do have. And all three are important to keep up. We will explain why in a moment. It's also important to have the key barrier. The key barrier is like a shield that, when enabled, you always have it on unless you drop below 15 mana. And it's basically a shield that mitigates some damage you receive. And when the shield drops, every few seconds it will replenish itself and spend some mana while doing so. So, but if the shield is broken and it's you have like zero shield right now, it doesn't recover as fast as you take damage. So just from this, you can see that it's a play style where you have to be really mobile because you need to move back and forth from fights to recover as needed. And the same go for your stats here. Moreover, let's open my skills. Different from my previous build where my character had block, this character is based on dodge. And the dodge mechanic on Regisfall works like this. If you have no shield equipped, your character will always attempt to dodge. There are some exceptions to this rule, one of them being the Blade Master itself, which can block with weapons, but we're not going to detail that here. So when you dodge, you go on a dodge cooldown. If you are higher than 50% stamina, that's a 2-second cooldown. So when you dodge, you are vulnerable for 2 seconds that you cannot dodge. And if you are below 50% stamina, it's 3 seconds. And when you do dodge, when you get a successful dodge, it spends some stamina. So several dodges in a row can lower your stamina quite fast if you are not a Kensai. because, as I said, we recover stamina, mana, and HP very fast. So we are able to dodge a lot. We are hard to hit. That's why you can see my dodge is quite high, even more so than my wrestling, because the way I play monks and have always played is defensively. Because as you can see, monk has very good damage potential, and it's hard to improve damage as a monk, as I will explain to you. So usually my focus is defense, because that's where that's what monks and Kensai as a whole lack the most. So I have very high dodge, and when you do dodge an attack, there's a noise, there's a sound, something like something like this. And when you hear this sound, it's time to move back for 2 seconds away from the fight to recover your dodge cooldown. You don't have to do this. You can stay there and face tank the enemy you're fighting, but more often than not, you will take damage as you do so. How do you prevent that, or at least mitigate some of that? In my opinion, one of the most important stats on a Kensai and a monk is DCI, defense chance increase, and I stacked it to a point where I can confidently hear the dodge sound and remain engaged and not move back. I rarely move back unless I need to heal. So DCI is very important for a monk, but at the same time, you also want to hit. So you need to find a balance between DCI and HCI, hit chance increase. And if I have to choose one for an item, usually I favor DCI over HCI. You can also see that, speaking about healing, I have very high healing. Kensai, as a whole, have higher healing than most classes. The base cap is 80, whereas for most classes the base cap will be 60. So I tried to get it as high as possible without compromising my other stats, basically from jewelry. At 95 healing, I can heal myself with a 4 second delay using bandages, and this is a way not to avoid damage but to recover quickly, so you're not out of the fight for too long. So because monk, if not built correctly, can be a lot of downtime when you're fighting, because you need to keep moving back to recover, and I don't like that. So I try to find a way to recover HP as fast as I can through healing by just simply increasing the skill, as you see when I showcase the actual gameplay. Moreover, at 95 healing, I can heal others with a 1 second delay, which is amazing in party play. Um, Basically, my character is a warrior, but if needed, he can be a soft healer. Um, let's say an off healer, just because of how fast he heals. And in fact, I have a macro which I call healing punches, just to apply a bandage to my closest friend every second, because I rely on healing a lot, and especially healing others during conflict. Um, you can see here that we have some oops we have some monk abilities here that come with the subclass for free. One of them is Body of Iron. Um, Basically, what it does is to increase your physical resist as you level up. You can see my physical resist here is maxed. But I also have elemental resists here. Where do they come from? Elemental resists come from resisting spells, which I have at maximum here. This increases your elemental resistances, which are also improved from my items. I would say this skill is very important for monks because spells can really destroy us if we are not careful. But we do have a feat to help us with that, a Kensai feat, which is the acrobatic combat. So let's take a look. Acrobatic combat has three abilities: true active and the passive one. The passive one allows you to dodge arrows and spells sometimes. However, the monk subclass has 10% extra chance of avoidance. This is in relation to this feat. You have a better chance of avoiding ranged attacks and spells. So you can see that up to now, I've only covered defensive tactics. We have high healing to recover, resisting spells for elemental resist. We have body of iron for physical resist, key barrier for mitigation, holiness of cells for regeneration. Let's start now. Oh, of course, and we also have focus to recover stamina quickly. Let's start now in meditation for mana. Okay, let's start now on the offensive side of the subclass and the class because this is where it shines the most. So, Monk by default has an extra 10 for dodge and wrestling caps. If we look at my caps, my wrestling is 110 with this 10% coming from subclass, but my dodge cap is 120. Why? Because I'm an elf. Elves, I don't know if it's actually not listed here, but elves do receive a plus 10 dodge cap. Okay, and since we're talking about elf, when I'm level 25 on this character, I plan to get these feat right here, which further improves my regeneration rate by plus 3, which is very welcome on a Kensai. And why elf? Why pick elf? Mechanically, of course, the mechanics of the game are important to me, but it's a role play shard, and your decisions should be around what you want to play, what's fun to you. This elf monk is something I tried in the past, and it's a lot of fun, but it's also very mechanically reliable. Why is that? Elves of all races have the highest dexterity increase per level. Dexterity makes you harder to hit and increases your swing speed as well, both of which are very important for a Kensai and a monk, especially for a monk, the intelligence stat. We will get to it. Also, the extra dodge is always helpful. So, why is intelligence so important on a monk? Because of this feat right here, key strikes, one of the monk trademark abilities. As a monk, your damage does not come from strength. You will notice that when I hit targets, I will have two damage values showing on the screen. One for my normal fist damage and one for key strikes. So let's take a look at key strikes. It's an active ability that you activate with this command here. If I use it, you allow your key to flow again. But if I activate it, you concentrate your key into your attacks. What does this do? When you have key strikes active, your every attack will ignore enemy armor. It will just bypass any resistance, any armor mitigation. You will just attack straight into their HP. No damage reduction. Of course, there are some enemy types which can still reduce it, but as a general rule, it's what we call here true damage or pure damage because it ignores all resistance and all armor mitigation. It's basically like an armor ignore special on every attack. However, why is intelligence important, as I was saying? Because key strikes scale with three things. It can scale with strength, but marginally so. It also scales with your monk level, and it scales the most with intelligence. So having high intelligence means high damage for a monk. So if you are ever trying to decide what to increase for your monk between strength, dexterity, or intelligence, intelligence will always be the answer, in my opinion at least. It's what I did for this build. And he capitalizes on it just for being an elf and having high intelligence. But this comes at a cost. Every attack you do with key strikes active will reduce your mana, right? Your mana is also your key. So every attack will lower this. And there's no way to offset it because it's a percentage. So no matter how much mana regeneration you get, it will drop with every key strike attack you do. You can make it drop slower if you have great mana regeneration, but it will always drop. And with every mana you lose, your damage drops as well. So yes, it does ignore armor, it does ignore resistances, but it goes down pretty quickly, as you will see, which emphasizes the mobile playstyle that the subclass kinda wants you to perform because you are managing a lot of stuff at the same time, including our stats. If I am really low on mana, there's no point to continue using key strikes. I need to recover. But the monk has access to the stance command. And we have 4 stances. I am right now in the neutral stance, which does nothing. But we have 3 others. We have a defensive stance, which increases our DCI and dodge chance as well, but it reduces our swing speed by a lot. Every stance has pros and cons. They all have some drawbacks. We have the offensive stance as well, which I use a lot. The offensive stance increases our damage, including our key strikes damage. It's the only thing in the game which can increase your key strikes damage. Damage increase enchantments or buffs from other classes cannot increase your key strike damage unless they are something that affects an enemy, affects all damage done to an enemy. What I mean is direct increasing by buffing the character. Offensive stance or buffing or intelligence is the only ways to achieve that. And by using and offensive stance also has a slight chance to deal a crushing blow, which stuns for 1 second and deals an extra instance of damage. And the cost for that, a great reduction of your DCI. So this is one of the reasons why I want to stack DCI as much as I can, because of offensive stance. So when I have very high DCI, I kind of compensate to be able to use this stance more frequently. Sorry, drinking some water, talking a lot here. So, okay, most of the time when I'm fighting, I will be on my offensive stance for maximum damage output. But then, eventually, my key strikes will get my mana really low. And the lower your mana is, the lower your key strike damage is as well. And that's the downtime, the biggest downtime that monks suffer from when your mana is low. And no matter how much mana regeneration you can get, you will get to this point eventually. We have, however, a third stance called recovery stance. Recovery stance greatly improves your stamina and your mana regenerations even further from what the subclass, the Kansai class already gives you. But it comes with the biggest impairment, in my opinion. It reduces your damage, including key strikes damage. So when you enter recovery stance, you don't want to stay in it too long. You want to recover your stamina and your mana, and recovering stamina is also important because stamina also dictates swing speed and dodge chance. The less stamina you have, the less likely you are to dodge. So you have to keep an eye on that as well. And recovery stance recovers both super fast at the expense of your damage. But I do have a little trick that I use to keep my damage values still reliable even when I'm on recovery stance, which is what I call weapon cycling. I call this build weapon stance cycling build, and it's actually it developed into a role play martial art style, which is the Fist of Clay. My character wrote a book about this fighting style in the game, in his story. So, what's weapon cycling? Monk weapons exist in this shard. And the two that I use the most are these ones. They are claws. Okay? Look at the stats for this claw right here. It has one of the look at the last one of the last lines there in the properties. Chance to cause burn on hit. This chance comes from this augment. I augmented my weapon with a level 2 augment. You can see it takes 2 slots with a hit burn effect on hit. It's a low chance, but I hit so fast as a monk that I am basically guaranteed to proc this at least once per combat. And what it does is to inflict a damage over time burn effect on targets. So, and I also use the level 1 argument to increase my swing speed, because the faster I hit with this weapon, the greater are my chances to inflict burn. Okay? And you can see I have another claw, and with a different property, chance to cause bleed on hit. So let's take a look at the augmentation here. I have a level 2 augment here with hit bleed chance and 5 DCI. Why 5 DCI and not the swing speed increase? Because more often than not, I will use the one that causes burn instead of this one. This one I use much less so, but when I do use it, I prefer to have some slight DCI increase, and I'll tell you why right now. I equipped my claw, which causes burn, right? And look, if I use my primary attack with it, it's disarm. But my secondary attack, my special attack, is bleed attack. So with this same claw, I can inflict burn and bleed. So that's 2 damage over time effects on my target. The target will be bleeding and burning. And bleeding also has the added effect on PvP to stop one instance of bandage healing. So when do I use this? I don't want to use a lot of special attacks on a monk, because special attacks cost mana, and I want to dedicate all my mana into my key strikes. So when is it viable to use special attacks? When I'm on recovery stance. Because when I'm on recovery stance, I recover mana so fast that I can spam special attacks and still be okay. And it's not like my key strikes will stop either. It will just deal less damage because I'm on recovery stance, and recovery stance reduces all damage you deal. However, I can compensate that if I make my target burn and bleed. So the reason for the damage over time effects is just that. When I'm on recovery stance, I cycle through weapons a lot, and I will usually only equip the bleed on hit if I am not on recovery stance. Because if I'm on recovery stance, I don't have to rely on the percentage chance of this, because I can just inflict it with my secondary attack. So you can tell this is the weapon I use the most just by looking at the durability, right? In comparison. I have a third weapon here, which I don't use for damage. It's the fastest hitting one. Look at the crazy weapon speed, 52. This one is just 50. And because it hits the fastest, it's the one I installed a hit mana leech argument, which is a level 3 argument. This is when I'm desperate for mana. I don't use these a lot. But when I'm desperate for mana, say in a boss fight or something where I need to recover mana quickly, I throw this weapon up, and 30% mana leech will not be a lot on a monk, because mana leech is based not only on the percentage of the leech but also on the damage you deal. It's a percentage of the damage dealt by you, and it doesn't take key strikes into account. It would be too OP if it did, because you would spend mana dealing key strike and immediately recover it. So I can understand why it's not like that. It's only based on your low fist damage, and as a consequence, you don't recover a lot of mana doing this, but it can help. Okay, So we covered the stances, weapon cycling. Let's talk about another trademark ability for monks, which is the flurry of blows. Flurry of blows has a 30-second cooldown, so this is something you will rely on a lot. And this is your burst damage potential. Monks are really about DPS, consistent damage, hitting fast and hard, and then stepping back to recover when you need to. What Flurry does through this command here is that it does 4 attacks in a row simultaneously. Bam, 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 bam. You're going to listen to the sound it does when it hits, and you're going to see my stamina dropping dramatically, very suddenly, when I use it, because you unleash 4 attacks, and attacking also spends stamina. So 4 attacks. Let's try to combine everything we talked about so far. So if I have key strikes active and I use flurry of blows, all my 4 attacks will apply key strikes, all of them, assuming they hit, of course, because you can miss all 4. This is why it's important to have high wrestling on a monk, because you want to hit all your 4 attacks when you flurry of blows, because this gives you an edge. Because as you know, we have low HP. We want to kill our targets as fast as possible. So flurry of blows will apply key strikes if you have it active on all 4 attacks. Moreover, if I have my claw equipped, I have a chance to apply the burn effect on each of those attacks as well. And I can improve upon it with the monk talisman, the Kensai talisman, I should say, with the True Strike medallion. Let me unequip it because I have some properties hidden there, which increases my damage, hit chance, hit points. Good stats, but you're really using this for that 5% chance on melee hit to deal 1 extra attack. It's a very low chance, but hey, when you use Flurry of Blows, you're dealing 4 attacks. And each of those attacks will have a chance to become 2 attacks. So if you are really lucky, 4 attacks can become 8. That while that does happen, you shouldn't rely on it happening a lot, because it's like a once in a lifetime thing. But sometimes you do get an extra attack or 2 when you Flurry of Blows, and your extra attacks will also apply key strikes. So you can see where we're going with this, right? We are turning DPS damage into burst damage with Flurry of Blows, but of course, only every 30 seconds. And something you need to manage is what stance are you on when you use Flurry of Blows. Because using Flurry of Blows when you are on recovery stance is a waste of Flurry of Blows, in my opinion. Because remember, recovery stance reduces your damage, and it will reduce all the damage from your 4 attacks and any extra attack you deal. So you want to use Flurry of Blows ideally when you are using offensive stance, because then each of those attacks will be improved by the stance, and each of those attacks will have a chance to apply the crushing blow as well from the stance. Okay, you're going to see I rely on this a lot to apply on hit effects, as well as to deal burst damage to my targets. We also have Colossal Strike, which is the monk's only means of AoE, and it's not a very strong AoE. It has a 1 minute cooldown, so it's not something you can use all the time. I try to use it at least once per combat, but if the enemy is really weak or I'm fighting like one enemy, I rarely do it. I will save this for the strongest enemies when I am in trouble and surrounded, because then I can stun them. It it will stun my current target, and it has a 50% chance to stun the other targets around it, which also receive some damage. This right here is the monk's weakness. Monk is a single target duelist. It struggles against several targets because you have no way to cause AoE. But I have a little trick for that. When I'm fighting a lot of mobs, I will start the fight on recovery stance, and I will apply bleed to all of them, so that when I am focusing on one target, all the others will be at least receiving some damage from the bleed, right? So in a way, while not AoE, if played to their strengths, you can inflict damage to everything in your screen. It's just less effective than, let's say, a mage with AoE spells, or other class abilities that affect area, because this is a workaround. It's not really AoE. The reason you want to use Colossal Strike is really for the stun, okay, the stun effect. And remember, I said acrobatic combat has two active uses as well. Feint, I don't use feint ever. I don't even have it hotkeyed. Rogues also have access to acrobatic combat, and I think feint is more important for a rogue. Feint, you deal one attack that does no damage, which is like a fake attack, and in doing so, you increase your hit chance for your following attack. This is not good on a monk, in my opinion. You want to deal as many attacks as possible, as fast as you can, because you are a glass cannon. You don't want to just stand there doing nothing. You want to be there, causing as much damage as you can before you need to move back to heal. Combat roll, on the other hand, I use all the time. Let me show you. When you use the command, you roll, and it's on a 10-second cooldown. So if you get surrounded, you can use Colossal Strike to stun everything around you, and then you roll out of the fray, and you can heal. You can run to heal, or recover mana, or recover stamina, whatever you need. Monk is for sure the class, at least the way I play it, with the most button mashing, because you are switching stances all the time, cycling through weapons if you play like I do, all the time. So it's very active gameplay, which is something I love about Regisfall. Lastly, Tactical Assessment, which is a passive for Kansai, that from time to time, whatever you are fighting, you will be able to access their statistics, how much HP they have, stamina, and mana. This is good information to have, especially on PvP. Just a moment, I need water. Especially on PvP. And I'm sorry for the interruptions for water. I don't edit these videos really, and I have no script. It's all improvisation, and sometimes I need to hydrate. Okay, I think we covered. Oh, I forgot about my mastery. Let's take a look. I've played with all monk masteries. You have a mastery to recover mana on hit, and another one to counterattack when you dodge an attack. I tried both, and while they were good, they were less reliable because they're on a chance. So when they don't proc, it's like I have no mastery. So at least in the way I look at it, they were less valuable to my play style. And because I am a little bit reckless, I needed to recover. And as I told you, not recover, but I needed to withstand some damage. And as I told you, I, when I play a monk, I focus on defense mostly. So defense mastery seemed the logical choice. It's not a monk mastery, it's a base Kansai mastery. And basically all it does is a 10% damage reduction, all damage you receive. 10% may seem like not a lot, but boy, does it make a difference. So it's 1% per mastery level. We're max level, 10% damage reduction. Why it makes a big difference? Because it reduces 10 damage. You have your key barrier also reducing damage, and you regen super fast. So you're regening. Let's say you're making each point of HP more valuable when you take less damage, especially as an elf, because elves have low HP, if that makes sense. So that seemed like an obvious choice to me. Okay, I think I covered everything, guys, about the build. So usually how I play this build is I go in and I normally go in with offensive stance up and try to kill my target as fast as possible. I have some other monk tricks, but one more monk trick, but this one I will not be covering in this video, but I call it stun punch. This is something for another video, but it's something I use sometimes to stun my targets, but it's nothing related to monks, more related to UO mechanics. Without further ado, shall we showcase the build? As I did with my previous Berserker build, I will be talking throughout and explaining my every decision, why I did this, why I did that, and you're going to see how Monk subclass kind of makes you have to make decisions all the time, and you have to really make them fast. So first of all, we're gonna go into offensive stance. So you can see my damage is increased, chance of crushing blow, but look here, 15% defense chance increase reduction. So this is a lot for a Kansai because this is our most important stat in my opinion. But because I have a ton of DCI, I kinda can get by with this big debuff here. Okay, I will start then. I know there's an enemy right here, and because I am better at single target combat, I will try to fight enemies alone. Did you see that those damage? You see two damage here. One is my fist, the other is key strikes. Okay, I just procced one crushing blow. I have a overhead message to inform me when that happens. And did you notice that my first hit against this target procced an extra attack from this, and that attack inflict key strikes twice. This is not a strong enemy, but you get the idea, right? So there are two enemies here now, and I will fight both at the same time. That was Fury of Blows. Look at how much damage it did, because I wanted to kill him as fast as possible, because the other one is hitting me for free. You can see, you can hear actually, that he's missing me a lot, because I'm not that easy to hit, but he's doing okay. He hit me twice, but look how fast I regen. Okay. I think I have my key barrier turned off, so we're gonna turn it on. Well, actually it was on, so I just disabled it. Oops. We will re-enable it pretty soon. Okay. Flurry of blows. Look at how my damage already dropped because I'm low on mana. Okay. I am moving around to avoid the other guy's attacks as I deal with this skeleton. Okay, I'm gonna use... So I'm stunning him just with my crushing blow from the stance. But I need to kill him fast because the other guy will get up. So I'm gonna use Colossal Strike and another flurry. Roll to get through. Bandages, always important. Look at how low my mana is. My damage is abysmal right now, so I'm gonna go into recovery stance and I will equip my claw. Okay, inflict bleed to keep damage up. Look how fast my mana is going up. It's still reducing a little bit. Oh, inflict burn as well. Okay, so this guy is taking damage even if I'm doing nothing to him. Don't ask me how a skeleton can bleed. Alright, we dealt with him. Stance is off cooldown, so we can go back to our offensive stance and unequip the weapon. Flurry of blows. Look at how much damage I did to this poor gentleman right here. He's almost dead. Roll. Using combat roll to reposition and make him run where I want him to. I didn't want him to leave that area. So as you can see, as a monk, you don't do a lot of special attacks because you want to save your mana for key strikes always. That will do more damage than any special you can do. But when you're low on mana, you don't do a lot of damage, as you saw. But you can kill things pretty fast. I'm not gonna go into recovery stance here. Okay. I'm gonna use a stun punch. Okay, he's stunned for 4 seconds. When he starts attacking me again, I will use Colossal Strike to keep him stunned for another 4 seconds. So that's 8 seconds that he couldn't do anything to me. That's how I avoid damage. Flurry of blows. My damage is starting to get really low. So I'm gonna switch to recovery. I will equip my claws and inflict bleed to compensate. So these 25 damage you're seeing here is my key strike damage, 29.9, because now my mana is up, but I'm on recovery stance, which reduces my damage. We're gonna go back to damage increase because we're full of mana now, unequipped weapon. Oh, and now I have key barrier active. I have a shield with 59. It can absorb 59 damage and then it breaks. But if I take distance, it will continue recovering. You will see a little animation, a sparkle on the character when it does every so often. And we are gonna go a little crazy here. I'm gonna actually go back into recovery stance and we're gonna fight everything in this room at the same time. First, we start by applying bleed to all of them, and you can, whenever there's the sound, I move back because that's my cue. It's the dodge sound, taking heavy damage here, but I'm doing okay with the bleeds because I'm on recovery stance. I am not losing any mana when I take distance. I only approach when I'm off dodge cooldown. DCI also helping me, but I am taking damage now and then. My key barrier is recovering. Look at the animation. Okay, I will go back to my damaging offensive stance to deal flurry of blows, and colossal strike to hit all of them. Stun punch. I want to keep this guy right here. I am a bit low, so I'm gonna use a bandage. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bam. I am not so bad anymore. I will go back to recovery stance, equip my claw, bleed, bleed, bleed spam, bleed. I will reapply bleed on this guy running away, so he dies on his own. Bleed on this fucker. All right, this one is also running away. Another bleed for you. You can see how active and mobile you have to be. So they're pretty low. We're gonna go into offensive stance. Flurry of blows on this one. Stun punch, keeping this guy not doing anything to me. He's dead. Let's finish the others. So even though I was fighting, I was attacking just one at a time, look at how fast I killed all of them, relying on bleed. While they get up, I will go up here and finish this guy. This one is a spellcaster. Let's see if I will dodge a spell. This is not a spell, this is a special ability. I am stunned, so I will roll away. Come on. You skillfully avoid the spell. So this is acrobatic combat. Flurry of blows for you. I will roll, because if he moves away from me when he's low HP, I want him to move in this direction, not this. I don't want him to leave. And a colossal strike to finish him. I'm stunned. Okay, he is stunned now as well. And why did I use this when he was on low HP? Because I didn't want him to move away. So I stun him to keep attacking. Okay, we have many targets below, so we're gonna go into recovery stance again. Bleed for you. I want the other one. Bleed for you as well. I think one of them went this way. Yep. One bleed for you as well, sir. Okay, they're all bleeding and I'm off cooldown for flurry, so I go back to offensive stance to flurry warn them. Also applied many crushing blows there because of my stance. Okay, I am kind of healthy right now, so I don't need to worry about take some damage from them. So I'm just face tanking it. So, of course, I can meditate to recover. Look at how fast my mana recovers when I meditate. It's insane. But I don't want to meditate a lot because, as I said, I don't like downtime. I like active gameplay. So I will just switch to recovery stance instead at the expense of damage. Okay, we're about to face a stronger enemy right now, and we are actually gonna open it with a flurry and my claws equipped because I want to inflict, and I will use the second claws because I want to inflict bleed on him without spending mana for the special attack. So I throw on the claw with the bleed proc, and we will hope that it will proc. It will probably hit because we have flurry active. So 4 attacks, 4 chances to proc it. I didn't proc it, but I did proc it afterwards. So he is bleeding. I will throw a stun punch, unequipped my claws. Okay, he is stunned. I will continue attacking and bleeding. Look at my key barrier, soaking some damage. He is enraged. This is dangerous because he hits fast and stronger. So I'm gonna use Colossal Strike to stun him for 4 seconds. where I'm able to do enough damage. And during this time, I recovered Flurry from cooldown, so I'm gonna use it again. Pretty low on damage because my mana is down, but I killed him and taking very little damage. This is a strong enemy, guys. But because I played to my strengths, he didn't do anything to me. Of course, all the damage I'm receiving is being reduced by 10% because of my mastery. I am kind of low on mana, so I'm gonna switch on to. I want to be full mana as much as I can. I'm gonna switch to recovery. One bleed for you, sir. And I'm gonna engage two enemies. Because I have my claws up, just need to keep an eye on durability. Okay, this guy is burning and bleeding. I'm gonna switch targets to the other one. Because I bled him some time ago and I want to inflict burn on him as well. Okay, both of them are burning. Back to offensive strike, flurry of blows. Finish that one. Colossal strike. He's stunned. Probably not enough to finish him, but we'll just catch up. I don't want to move out of my offensive stance because he will come back and you have 20 seconds to move between stances. So in this case, I will use meditation to recover mana while I wait for him to get up. The second form of these enemies are not as strong as the first one, so I should be okay. Flurry of blows, get him to half HP, and I can finish him off just with normal attacks. My key barrier holding up. Okay, I don't need to switch out even though I'm low on mana. I'm gonna recover some mana as I'm moving. Yeah, but in fact, I will go into recovery stamina because I want to make them bleed. And you can see that I have Flurry of Blows and Colossal Strike off cooldown, but I'm not going to use either because I'm on recovery stance, which deals lower damage. I will be off stance cooldown very soon. I am off it cooldown now, so I revert back to this. Flurry of Blows. Colossal Strike. Okay, this guy's down. While he gets up, I can finish the other one. Okay. Meditation, because I'm on stance cooldown and I don't want to go into recovery stance just for one enemy. I will wait for him to target me because I'm meditating. Okay. Stun Punch. The second stage, the second form for the skeletons go down pretty fast, so just key strikes is more than enough. Okay, I'm gonna go into an area with 3 enemies, so I'm gonna go into this recovery stance to make them bleed. I don't want this guy to see me because he's kind of strong. I was hoping to, let's see if I can pull this off. Okay, he went. Oh no, I'm stunned. Okay, I could roll away before the other one saw me because I want to fight these two at the same time. The third guy is pretty strong, so I want to fight him on his own. Okay, bleed for you as well. I am quite low, so I'm gonna go back to recovery. To offensive stance to try to kill them as fast as possible. That guy is running away. I want him to do it. Okay, let's finish the spellcaster first. Because I'm a monk, I don't want to be receiving too many spells. This one is still bleeding. And now he's dead. Okay, bandages. And let's re-engage. Because I bandaged so fast, I just need one. I started with a stun punch and flurry of blows while my mana is kinda up. Crushing blow. Crushing blow. And you can see I don't deal a lot of extra attacks relying just on this. It's just a 5% chance. It's no way as reliable as the Berserker that I showed. Okay, he's enraged, so Colossal Strike. to stun him. Getting low mana here, my damage is dropping by a lot. So we're gonna go into recovery stance. He stunned me. Okay, bleed. Hopefully I will apply a burn. Okay, he's bleeding and burning. I'm taking heavy damage, so stun punch. Okay, I'm almost off stance cooldown, but I'm gonna finish him off using recovery stance, because if I go into offensive now, my last few hits, because I have key strikes active, my last few hits will drop my mana, and I want to keep my mana up for the next fight. So now that the fight is over, I go back into offensive stance. Let's try to get into some trouble here. So far, it's been pretty safe. Let's engage two. Okay, these two are strong enemies. Let's see how I do. Okay, I'll open with a stun and a flurry. My flurry missed, only 3 attacks hit. Okay, now I'm gonna use Colossal Strike to stun both of them. Reposition myself. Alright, doing okay. Not so okay anymore, so I'm gonna take distance here. Ooh, this is about to get interesting. I am in trouble. I am in big trouble right now. I can't run because I'm chilled. Oh, we might go down, guys. Oh no! I'm gonna drink a potion. I can't run. Oh no! This is bad. This is very bad. Okay. Yep. See, but this is good that it happened. I don't think I've shown the KO screen on my other videos, but yeah, I wanted to get in trouble for you to see that Monk, until this moment, he seemed like a very OP character, very strong because of how fast I was killing everything. But the moment you have strong stuff surrounding you, it's over. You saw how fast I went down. No matter how much mitigation or key barrier won't save you from all those strikes. And because I need to be mobile, I need to move fast, and many of those enemies there cause chill effects which slow you down, I was not able to run away to heal. So this is the result. Let's just wait a little bit to get up. I apologize for the black screen. Okay, we're back, and you can see that I have a KO sickness. My dexterity and intelligence are reduced by a lot, and this means that I'm easier to get hit, and my key strikes won't be as strong. I need to re-enable my key barrier, and I'm not gonna make this mistake again. So let's try to get at least just 2 of them. I will try to lure them over here. If it's a bunch of weak enemies, we can deal with them with the tactics I explained, but if it's a lot, there's nothing you can do. Okay, since we are KO sick, let's just deal with this guy first. And you can see how my damage is reduced from having lower intelligence from KO sickness, even though my mana is okay. I will reposition behind him. Why? Because when you are behind enemies, you have a chance, higher hit chance increase. Flurry of blows to finish him off. Alright, and he's dead. Okay, let's get the other one. I'm going into recovery stance here for some bleed attacks. I will kite him a little bit. And he's burning. Yeah, he keeps slowing me down with the chill effects. Yeah, see? Okay, let's go back to recovery stance. Colossal Strike, he's stunned. Flurry. Okay, I am now off KO sickness, so back to full power. So you can see now that you do amazing as a duelist when it's just a one-on-one fight, one target. But as soon as you get a ton of enemies around you, things get a bit strange for you. Okay, 2 enemies here. I will go into recovery stance. Let me check my claws. Okay, let's do a bleed attack. Bleed attack for you. And the bleed attack for the Inquisitor as well. Okay, both of them are bleeding. They keep slowing me down and stunning me. Oh, I'm getting in trouble here. Let's use a bandage for good measure and go into offensive stance. They are already bleeding. One more bandage, I suppose. See, this is why it's important to have high healing on a Kensai. I was able to apply 2 bandages in the time it would take a character with 60 healing to apply just 1. Okay, I'm gonna use stun punch on this guy right here and then take distance because I want him to stay there as I want to finish the Inquisitor first. Let me use another bandage here. I am out of the chill effects. Now I can run. Okay, I'm gonna unleash everything. Stun punch, flurry of blows, colossal strike, everything to kill the spellcaster as fast as possible. The other guy forgot about me. He's not aggressive anymore. Okay, I am almost off stance cooldown. So I'm gonna go into recovery and equip my claws. Bleed and burn. Perfect. I'm gonna take some distance. Okay. I'm off cooldown for flurry. I'm not gonna use it because I'm on recovery stance, but stance is almost off cooldown. Okay. Back to offensive stance. Flurry of blows. Okay, I'm not gonna do the whole dungeon. Okay, I'm not gonna do the full run. I just want to do one more enemy because there's an enemy here which summons more enemies, and it's important knowing who you're fighting. This guy here, if he gets low, he will summon 2 skeletons, so we're avoiding him because we want to focus on this other guy here. Okay, I was waiting for flurry to be off cooldown, so I flurried him. Stun punch, colossal strike to stun the other one. Oh, I'm in trouble. Okay, I'm running away to use bandages. Okay, the Inquisitor is low because he is low on HP, so I pull this guy away. I'm gonna stun him. Okay, he is stunned. I will run back and finish the Inquisitor with another flurry. And he's dead. Okay, now we can focus on this guy. I am low on stamina and mana. This is not good because I will be dodging less. And I'm on low HP as well. So I will use a bandage and go into recovery stance. Look at how fast they go. Up. One more bandage and I should be okay to deal with this guy because he's almost at a point where he will start summoning other enemies. So I'm gonna bleed him. See, and here's the other guy. I'm gonna bleed him as well. And then go back to the other one. Okay, he's gonna summon another enemy, and I'm gonna bleed him as well. Okay, the strongest target is running away, so I'm gonna go into offensive and deal with these 2 quickly. Stunning, colossal strike to damage both of them. One is almost down, so I don't need to worry about HP as much. Oh, that was an extra attack there. Okay, equip my claw and inflict bleed because these other enemies almost up again. And I want to recover mana. Okay, one bleed for you. And I will go up here to finish this guy. One bleed for him should be enough. Oh, the Inquisitor respawned. Okay. So we have now a spellcaster. I will flurry on the skeleton to finish him off because I need to deal with this other guy quickly. Another skeleton just got up, so I'm gonna use a stun punch. Okay. Oh man, I'm chilled, so I can't move fast. But I wanted to get some distance. Okay. Now I'm gonna finish this guy with the Inquisitor away. Okay, he's moving away, so I will let him to deal with the spellcaster. I'm low, but I know I can finish him off with my damage, Colossal Strike. Knowing your damage is also important to help your decision making. And he's dead, and I almost was dead myself. So I'm gonna recover a little bit, and I'll go into recovery stance to recover my stamina and mana, which I will need to finish off these guys. Well, too bad. They went into an area where there's an elite guy right there. Let's see if I can. Okay, the elite saw me, so we need to finish this guy quickly. And this other one too. I don't want to fight the elite with recovery stance, but since I am on recovery stance, I will take the chance to apply a bleed and immediately switch out to offensive stance to deal as much damage as I can. I'm off flurry cooldown, so here comes the flurry. Almost out of Colossal Strike cooldown. He's enraged, so good time to deal Colossal Strike and stun him for 4 seconds. He's no longer stunned, so stun punch. I think I can finish him off without going to recovery. Even though my mana is getting low, let's stun him again. Because I'm low on stamina too, and I need stamina to dodge, and he's dead. So you see, you take a lot of risks as a monk, but if you play to your strengths and you know your damage and you know what you're capable of doing, you can come up with a strategy to deal with any situation. But of course, Regisfall is a very balanced system, and all classes have pros and cons. And I'm actually glad I could show you one of the cons of playing a Kensai and a monk, which is dealing with many targets at once. And kinda dangerous for this class, which shines the most versus single targets. Okay, guys. After I'm done with this elite, I'm gonna close this video. I hope you enjoyed. I will do a full gameplay video with this character with no commentary, the same as I did with the Berserker, just showing gameplay without a lot of talking in the background. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.